We take a look now at what's happening on our roads and discuss the festive season road safety campaign. Let's speak now to Transport Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga, Eastern Cape Transport and Community Safety MEC Xolile Nqatha, and we also have Florence Radzilani, Limpopo Transport and Community Safety MEC. Let me thank you all so much for your time. Minister, I'm going to start with you. So far, from what you've observed, how would you describe the situation on the roads?
Good afternoon, Oli, and good afternoon to your viewers. Good afternoon, MEC Nqatha and MEC Radzilani from Limpopo and Eastern Cape. The situation on the road is not good. We have had quite a number of crashes. A number of them have led to fatalities. And this is because of the human factors, people driving at high speed, under the influence of alcohol, during the night driving unroadworthy vehicles, and just lack of patience and the sense of entitlement as people drive on the road. But also our pedestrians also wearing dark clothes, many of them being drunk. So you have a combination, particularly in residential areas, of drunk drivers and drunk pedestrians. And that is why up until now, when you look at the fatalities and the stats that are coming to us, the pedestrians are leading in terms of people that are dying on the roads.
Sure.
But of course, it's important that we thank the road users who abide by the rules of the road, because millions of them have actually been traveling from their point of departure to their destinations, and they've done so under safe and considering and taking into account all the rules of the road. But there are those that are doing as they wish on the road, to the extent that we now have quite a number of fatalities. We have quite a number of fatal crashes during this festive season.
Hey, that's quite a worrying picture there that you're painting, Minister. MEC Nqatha, the death toll in the Eastern Cape, we were reporting here on the show as well that, it had risen to 23 people since the 1st of December. Where do things stand now?
Good evening, to the Minister and to your viewers and the MEC. Indeed, the situation is quite worrying, as the Minister is indicating. We stand now at 30 fatalities, owing in the main to driver behavior, human behavior. That's the main, problem. And we are clamping down on drunken driving, as we have arrested already 150 people, only 69 already this past weekend. And from the 19 days, we have arrested 150. And we really quite concerned, though road fatalities were decreased by 4, we had 11 by this time in the last season. Now we have recorded 6. Owing to awareness campaign that we have intensified, including platforms such as these, they have sort of helped us to heighten awareness on pedestrians.
Yeah.
That's the kind of situation that we have. We're quite worried. These next few days up to Christmas Day is going to be a defining period, because we are seeing a high volume of increasing of traffic volumes between the northern provinces, the Western Cape and Gauteng and our province, and the Western Cape. The volume is increasing, and with the increasing of volumes of traffic, the also increasing of chances of fatalities. But our teams, rapid response, are in place.
Yeah.
We place in strategic areas throughout the province to ensure that we enforce the rules of the road.
MEC Radzilani, you will also be seeing volumes increase this particular time as people head home, others are heading to various destinations. But we're seeing reports also suggesting that there's over 100 drunk drivers that have already been arrested. Paint a picture for us of how things are looking.
Thank you so much, and a very blessed evening to you, our Honorable Minister, my colleague MEC. Let me concur with both the Minister and the MEC that also in Limpopo, the picture does not look good. Looking at the our law enforcement daily report, it shows an increased traffic flow since we launched our festive season road safety campaigns. And almost 145,000 vehicles has been stopped and checked across the province, because we do have law enforcement officers who are very much dedicated and they are always on our road to make sure that we enforce compliance. And one other thing which is worrying us as a province, I think we might be adding a large number when it comes to pedestrians who are killed on our road. We have almost experienced 17 hit and run, where the vehicle, it will take time for our law enforcement officers to identify the vehicle, because those who are committing this crime, they try to run away before the law enforcement officers can really catch them. And I also want to concur with you that it is true that also in the province, we are very much concerned, especially when it comes to the human behavior. Almost 118, since we started with the festive season, 118 drivers have been arrested for drunken driving. And also 1,300 have been charged for overloading. You will also agree with me that as Limpopo province, because of the N1, we experience a very high traffic volume, and the overloading, it's also very worrying. But we are working closely with all our stakeholders, be it the truckers, be it the taxis, the stakeholders. We are trying to knock sense, to say to our motorists, when you are on our roads, make sure you abide by the rules of the road. Thank you.
Minister, you know, one really wonders, what will it take for the message to sink in, particularly to those who decide to get behind the wheel drunk, speed, and not think for other, road users as well? What are you discovering as you are working on these road safety campaigns? Are some of the reasons for people to be this reckless?
I think the problem of alcohol abuse is affecting all of us. Whether you speak crime, you speak road safety issues and so on. But also, if you look at this month, this festive season, we have got 3 really long weekends. The one that we are coming from, and the statistics indicated that during just these 3 days or 4 days of the long weekend, a number of people were involved in crashes and a number of people died. The fear is that we are yet approaching yet another really long weekend that will start on the 23rd, but up until Tuesday on the 26th. And the festivities that take place in residential areas, the drinking and driving that happens both by the passengers, by the drivers, but also by pedestrians, that is concerning. And that is why we have agreed, even in our chat group, that we will divide our resources, because we still expect our major routes to be very busy, or national roads to be very busy, particularly on Friday and Saturday. But then we're expecting that by Saturday, the majority of people will have arrived, and therefore will be attending festivities up until the Boxing Day on the 26th.
Yeah.
And therefore, we have said at that we will then deploy our human resources, even for visibility purposes, so that people do not just drink and drive as it is happening. And that is the first issue. But the second one, the question that you are asking, is an important one, because over and above the fact that we need to enforce the law, which we are doing, as MECs have also reported, but we will not be able to have traffic officers on all kilometers, in a distance of 1 kilometer or 10 kilometers for that matter. And that is why in South Africa, before you get a license, a driving license, you write an examination to say, I know the road signs and I know the rules of the road, and I can also drive. You get tested. And therefore, yourself, you take that responsibility of being an efficient and a careful driver. And that is what we are asking to our people to say. We have said during this season, Fika usaphila, arrive alive. It's important. And we can do that. We can reduce these accidents. We can reduce the pain that goes with losing somebody within the wink of an eye. A person is dead or somebody is seriously injured.
Yeah.
Because what we're talking about only are people that get killed in accidents, but there are so many others that get serious injuries and never live the same life ever again, because some they lose their limbs, some they suffer serious brain injuries, but may necessarily not die, but the life changes immediately.
Sure.
And that is why we are saying to our people, we can do better. We can abide by the rules of the road. We can respect one another. Know that we have got up to about 13 million cars in South Africa and about 12 million drivers in South Africa, and we share the road.
MEC Nqatha, there's something else that we've also been looking at as we're looking at the festive season as well, is that in your province, for example, Intercape last week was telling us that they're also fearing for the safety of their drivers and the passengers, and they're still waiting for a plan to ensure the safety of their buses as well, because they're under attack. And this matter, as we've seen, has been in the courts and all of that. What is going on there?
Yeah, thank you. The matter is in court. We have submitted the plan as directed by the court, submitted our papers in terms of the plan. But the plan is submitted in the context of providing safety for the public and for all public transport operators. What we are unable to do is to have a dedicated security for Intercape. That is practically impossible. And that's the context which we have made a submission. And our sense is that they insist that we must have a dedicated capacity. It's totally impossible. We provide safety in the context, of protecting the public and protecting all bus operators and the taxi operators for that matter. And that's what we have submitted in court. That's how far we can go. And other, companies, they do their own security arrangements, like any company, whether it's construction or what. So that's a situation in the province.
And MEC Radzilani, pardon me, you were still saying something, MEC?
Just to underline the point raised by the minister, that road safety is everyone's responsibility. Yeah. And the majority of South Africans are behaving well, obeying the rules of the road. We're saying keep it up to them because that will help us save lives. And our law enforcement officers, we're urging them to step up the fight. And these clampdown and arrests we have made in themselves, they will serve as a deterrent because we are not going to waste any time for any lawbreakers. The law will take its course.
MEC Radzilani, I'm going to give you the final word, then your message. We've heard the message from the minister, the message from the MEC. Your final word then.
I want to make a call to all the people of Limpopo, particularly the road users and also the pedestrians. We encourage pedestrians to avoid drinking and walking, and we also encourage them to wear brighter clothes during the night. And we want to send a very strong message. If we find you walking while drunk, we will have to detain you in the police station until you are sober. And we want to say, indeed, the safety of our people is the responsibility of all of us. We can't behave like foreigners in our own country. We know the rules of the road. And through our communication channels, we are able to make sure that we communicate with our people from time to time. And we want to also indicate that we are working very well with the Department of Health in the province to try and make sure that we screen our drivers for other related sickness which might influence bad driving, like BP or sugar diabetics. Hence, I'm saying we are working with other stakeholders. So when we started, the picture was not encouraging. But now, if we compare with 2022 during this time, we are now sitting at 78 road fatalities, while the previous year, during this time, we're sitting at 81. Let's work together and make sure that we protect life, and all our stakeholders try and make sure that you make the safety the business of all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And just before I let you go, Minister, in about 10 seconds, an update. You were a victim of a crime recently. What's the status of that case?
It is with the police.
Are they investigating? Is there any movement?
Definitely, they're investigating it. It's possible to effect arrest. Yeah, but we thank God that we are okay and that those criminals did not harm us in the manner they touched our bodies, and that was very important for us.
Yeah.
But what we have to travelers, particularly on those areas, because we actually have identified hotspots for such criminalities. We have said when you see your tire, if you experience a tire puncture and you can't explain it, particularly during the night, don't stop, move, drive, even if you drive slowly, even if you're on the yellow line. We've actually instructed our traffic officers that if a person is driving on the yellow line, but with a flat tire, they should not give them a notice or a fine, because it will be because that person is trying to be safe. And that is the message that we're giving. But also we've deployed traffic officers in those areas so that less harm is actually made to our people and they don't experience what one had to go through. It's traumatic, I must say, but I've recovered. I'm fine now.
Okay, we're glad you're okay. Let me thank you all for your time. I know it's a busy season, but please keep your phones very close to you, because we are going to be needing regular updates for the public and just to give them a sense of how things are looking. But let me thank you all for your time. That was Transport Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga, Eastern Cape Transport and Community Safety MEC, Xolile Nqatha, and Florence Radzilani, Limpopo Transport and Community Safety MEC.